Hey, this is Andrew Rannells. I just wanted to thank Attitude Magazine for honoring the boys in the band with their 2020 Film Award.
I'd like to thank Attitude Magazine for honoring the Boys in the Band movie with a 2020 Film Award.
Thank you so much to Attitude Magazine for recognizing the boys in the band with their 2020 Film Award.
This was a very important and meaningful project to all of us involved, and to have it recognized is very special.
I really especially want to thank Mark Crowley and the original cast for the courage to bring this story to all of us back in 1968.
I would like to thank Attitude Magazine for honoring our film with the 2020 Film Award. We are incredibly sorry that we can't be with you this evening.
We wish we could be there in person to accept it, but we look forward to seeing you in London, and thank you very much.
We wish that we could hop the pond and be with you all in London, but times have dictated otherwise. So until we can all get together, thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
We're sorry we can't be there with you in London tonight to accept the award, but we really look forward to a time when we can all get together again.
Attitude Magazine, thank you so much for this award. We're sorry we can't be there to accept it in person, but it's a huge honor, and one day we'll all be able to get together again soon.
Hey, this is Andrew Rannells. I just wanted to thank Attitude Magazine for honoring the boys in the band with their 2020 Film Award. I really wish I could be with you all in London right now, but I hope we can all be together again very soon. Now back to Tom in London.
Hey, I'm Leighton Williams. Hit like and subscribe to see more from Attitude.